I'll set this back.
Damn it, I'm only now thinking of the idea of, I'm looking at the Bakadaka's name as like, why did I name it that? Because Bazuli's a big old idiot, right? Or is because it's just dumb and shoot, right? Then I'm just like, screw you! I have a degree in engineering! He's like, you don't know me! You don't know the things I know! The life I've lived before I was on the mountain! You just saw a mountain man with wolf hat, and you thought, oh wow, what a bloodthirsty idiot. I went to college!
You ever wondered what I do with the wolf parts that came from this hat?
I built mobile suits out of it!
Exactly!
Full functioning mobile suits! Fucking that's bioengineering! That's horrifying.
So that's where the biosensor comes from.
Made of wolf's eyes.
So then, beginning recording in 3, 2... Hello everyone, Atou here.
And Tsuyoi.
And we're back. A Gundam tale.
Oh boy.
So right now Tsuyoi is proceeding through Moonbase Gamma in order to defeat all the boss quality enemies here. To essentially get the last of the few extras that he can at this point before continuing on with the story and wherever that may lead.
Here, hacking tool. Oh boy, repair unit SP. Restore drink SP. Oh wait.
Times 2.
Times 2. Oh, there was no one in here. I feel blessed.
Yeah, they're not all filled with enemies.
Not every room is maleficent. I don't know what that means. Not every place is a crazy witch chick with all the powers of hell. Kind of hot.
I see. Oh, better than malevolent. But anyways, so then, I had some One Piece stuff to bring up, but then you had some One Piece stuff to bring up. And we can do that while you're fighting this thing for your life.
Oh boy, I do like my life. I don't want to lose that. Wait, why do I have Aeon out? Oh wait, system crack, right. Woo! Okay.
Actually, give me a moment, because if these enemies are what I think they are...
Is this gonna be the thing?
No, not yet.
The thing as foretold in legend? Wait,
okay, these enemies. These are just really strong, generic enemies, but you don't have to feel the need to, like, system crack them or anything like that.
I was wondering.
They're on the strong side, true, but you're strong yourself. Like, you should be able to handle them, like, fairly easy without, like, wasting too much energy to crack them.
Okay.
Okay, so, what would you like to go on as far as topic goes? Your thing with Don Flamingo, or my thing on, like, something that could be better than Devil Fruits?
Alright. My thing, because I'm very forgetful.
Okay. I'm listening.
Okay, so I was bringing up, at least in one of our playthroughs, maybe this one, about how Don Flamingo pulls off this one move that is just so BS, so crazy dumb, that it puts, like, the amazing surgery of Blackjack to shame.
The Blackjack.
The Blackjack, who is, operated on ghosts and dinosaurs and computers.
And has performed self-surgery.
Yes.
In the dark.
Oh, in the dark?
On a plane.
No, that's amazing.
That was crashing.
In the dark, huh?
On a plane that was crashing.
I see.
Yeah. Alright, so, what did,
Don Flamingo do?
Yeah.
Yes, well, see, Don Flamingo performed surgery on himself. With his string fruit. While he wasn't cut open. On all his major organs. As they were reduced to useless piles of mush, practically. As they were just sliced and diced every which way inside of him.
By
law. These were for real cuts, though. I just realized they are actually boosting.
Yes, they're all boosting. Okay, so you're telling me that Don fought Law. And Law, the dude...
Fuck you!
Yeah, they'll do that.
Oh, this just hurts. What? My system hack!
Well, I probably just didn't have enough energy for the other one.
It's all just this, isn't it? Okay.
Alright, so, like, Law, the person with the ability to, like, move around body parts as he pleases, thanks to his, Op fruit.
Essentially.
Okay, like, he fought Don Flamingo and chopped him up with a sword or something of that nature without using his Op fruit, dealing legit damage.
Legit damage. He used this thing called Gamma Knife, where he stabs this, like, energy thing into your chest. And it basically attacks your insides and just slices and dices them all up for real. Like, not like, oh, I'm just switching things around, you're perfectly fine. I'm talking for real slicing. And apparently, according to what I've heard, it sliced all his major organs up.
Mm-hmm.
I assume not the brain. Just everything in the chest and stomach area.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, heart, lungs, you know, liver, important things. All gone. All completely just screwed.
Now, I kind of want to ask, how bad were they sliced up?
Yeah, that's, I don't know.
But, okay, so, yeah, he got stabbed with a special knife.
And what I've heard is that he basically sewed himself back together using his strings. Without opening himself up. To which I thought, so what you're telling me is, though he should have immediately died from shock or blood loss, or just immediately passed the fuck out, he instead had the presence of mind to do all that while not... How does he even know how his organs should work or go? Like, I doubt he's ever taken any medical knowledge in his life. It's like, oh yeah, I know how to surgery my heart back together. I know what valves are and how they work and what way they should be put back together. Well, my intestines also, and my liver, and my... Like, if you threw out a pancreas and a liver in front of him, would he even be able to identify which is which and what does what and where they connect? Because surgery is hard.
I see.
But he pulled it off.
Okay.
He fixed it.
That just has me bring a lot of questions about the situation that's being presented before myself.
Right.
A lot of it is me trying to logic something because, you know, context really does help in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like, okay, so Law, like, shanked Flamingo, and then I'm presuming he just walked off or something like that, thinking, well, he's dead, obviously.
Clearly.
And then during that time when Flamingo was just lying down on the ground, he pulled an Anaru and used his devil fruit to revive himself.
Probably.
Well, like, if I remember correctly, Anaru, like, died, but then he used his lightning fruit to, like, refibrillate his heart.
Yep.
And so he was able to come back that way.
He sure did. And they tried really hard to kill Anaru. I mean, did you see that, man?
No, I only watched the English version of One Piece, and the farthest they got was, I think Usopp, like, was at the ship. It was real foggy, and it looked like there was someone working on the ship.
Yeah, that's pretty much how far it got.
Yeah, and then, like, that's where they stopped.
Yeah, they had a guy literally with sea stone, like, skis sitting on him with his, like, things touching him to keep him from being able to turn into lightning. Use one of those impact dials, like a high-level version, on his heart. Or on his chest. And just did that. Hit him. It killed him. It freaking killed him. And it was like, hey,
Huh.
And he sat on him for a while.
So even though he was dead, one could say that his devil fruit acted on its own to save him in what way it could?
Not quite. Well, the way I would argue it is that once the guy got off him and his devil fruit reactivated, you've got to remember exactly how Logias work. They can train themselves to subconsciously turn it, into lightning or whatever when something's about to hurt them. I could believe they could subconsciously restart their heart too. I mean, hell, I think it can happen while they're sleeping even. So I wouldn't doubt that it was just a subconscious thing. Also, there's the fact that they have observation. He has observation hockey. So even while unconscious, it's quite possible.
What?
Well, it's called mantra, but it is observation hockey, essentially.
But isn't that a thing that has to be activated? It's not some kind of, like, subconsciously it can be activated kind of thing? Like, not subconsciously. I mean, like,
Something
you're passed out. Like, you are physically passed out and incapacitated, and you're telling me that it can activate on its, seemingly its own?
Whether you're just that trained. You know, one of those, like, oh, you're just that trained that you can react even while in the depths of sleep. Or, you know, medical death.
But he wasn't in sleep.
He was in medical death. Or, you know, his brain probably hadn't stopped functioning.
Like,
his heart had stopped functioning.
Many people will, no, not many people, like, I've heard it time and time again that being unconscious and being asleep is not the same thing.
I've been unconscious all of once. From what I remember about it, it was a very deep and peaceful sleep. I really enjoyed it. I recommend being unconscious.
Yeah, well, do go and save. You know, after every fight, go and save. Always save after every fight.
Ado says, always save after every fight.
But it's just like, yeah, I remember like hearing somewhere or seeing somewhere before that like being unconscious is medically different from being asleep. So like, you know, if you think you can get sleep by being unconscious, it won't work. Or at least it shouldn't work.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things in One Piece that are weird, like talking with a sword in your mouth because of your heart.
Yeah. And the shenanigans that I do with my devil fruit.
Right.
So, okay. It's like, I'm just trying to figure out, wait, could this be possibly a thing showing to where if a devil fruit user is on death, but if their fruit can, it will save them?
Nah, that seems too weird. I don't know.
Weird
That's just,
for One Piece?
That's weird.
When we've seen it happen twice, essentially?
I don't know. I mean, oh, one open. Huh. Okay. The other bases did have random encounters, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Huh. I'm glad this one doesn't.
Right. So, like, then at that point, it just goes back to this Don Flamingo thing.
Yes.
So, where it's like, okay, let's take a look at who we're dealing with. A person that can turn anything into strings, especially his body. One of them question out...
well, usually he doesn't turn his body into strings. He just produces string.
Right. But he can't he?
His awakening is to turn anything he touches into a mass of strings.
Oh, actually, I read a little bit about that. He doesn't have to touch it.
Oh, he doesn't have to touch it?
Yeah, he doesn't. He can literally psychic, like, the immediate area around him to turn into strings without touching it.
Oh, hey.
Okay. So then, I would suggest system cracking the Zeong thing there, because it's obviously going to be the heaviest hitter. However, you do know how those Quiblés operate. They will try to system crack you at some point.
Fair enough.
So it's like kind of up to you of what's the immediate priority here.
I see what I'm going to do. I'm going to get Bazillion here, have him charge, and get him ready to use his super big shooty thing on one of the Quiblés, whereas I'm charging Aeon up for her thing right now.
Huh. Okay then. Right, so like...
Everyone's charging. Everyone's just charging. Everyone get ready. Oh, it's going to be good. Oh, boy. It's for real now. Okay, let's just system crack you, and you're going to shoot really, really hard. Okay, here we go. All right.
Okay, so like one of the things that I would question would basically be like, is it possible that Don Flamingo, you know, feeling that his organs were being sliced at, simply turned his organs into string to make them seem all cut up and then just put them back together?
Huh.
Are they telling me like that this situation explicitly showed his organs got chopped up, but then his metaphysical strings or whatever were physically putting them back together to be in operational working order when he should have been clinically dead? Like, I'm just kind of... Like, you describe the situation, I feel like the context of various things would help solve a lot of the mystery here. Because otherwise you're telling me that devil fruits have the power to save their users.
To be fair, I just in the same arc saw a giant man punch a man who was 12,000 tons, coming down at, I assume, terminal velocity. Comes down. He's already got broken legs, one broken arm, punches with his other arm that's already injured. It shows every bone in his arm shatter into dust, practically. And he still counteracts 12,000 tons of force and throws him into the sky. With his bones shattered. So you want to talk about not making sense? I just like to assume that he stiffened his muscles super hard. That's, by the way, that's the giant who I got on my team that does that really hard-hitting attack. That loses all my life points, but does a really good attack.
Ah, yes, and that One Piece treasure trove game.
Yes, Beam Lash. Oh, that thing. Yeah, cute. Whatever.
Man, I hate that move. Because, you know, it's basically a lightning strike, but gun-wise, so, like, it has priority in terms of, like, a speedy move.
Ah, I see. Well, his Quibblies are down, and none of them got to system crap me.
Oh, good, and you already system cracked the Xeon, right?
Yep.
Okay, then, like, you know, just time
to laugh at him.
I guess.
There's nothing he can do.
Oh.
It's over. It's over.
I'm not saying that it's impossible for you to lose. I'm just saying, you know, don't be
that guy.
Yeah, just don't be that guy to where,
you.
like, he does a big attack, you're all down to, like, 100 health each person, and it's like, oh, I just gotta attack him one more time, and he'll be dead.
Oh.
It's fine.
Well, when would I ever do that? That's insane. That's not me. Oh, what do I do? Fritz, come on out here and just start charging.
But
we're just getting ready to finish this.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, you know, the whole Don Flamingo thing, like, I would love to look into that. I just don't know where I would go to look into that. Like, if it's a scene in the anime, then maybe I could, like, look up that particular scene. If someone thought this is so cool that they'll just throw it up by itself. If it's a thing in the manga, I'm, like, wondering, okay, what chapter in the manga did, like, that appear in? And, well, you know how wikis are. Like, they'll probably talk about the scene, and it says, like, this is what happened. But it would probably be just as informative as, like, how you've been informative about the scene.
Fair enough.
It's a thing, here's how it went down, but not too much details into the details of how it went down.
Voltic Lancer! Whoa! Yeah! And probably dead. Oh no, Shinho Shokin? Well, you're dying this turn. But, yeah.
But, yeah, and of course, that does, like, raise other questions. Like, if it wasn't his devil fruit saving him, then, like, yeah, your thing, like, you know, how does he know that, like, you know, how to put his organs, like, how does he know how to string them back together and stuff like that?
Then my brother brought up the ultimate weird question. So, you would think once he, like, is knocked unconscious, his string would just loosen. Any strings around would just loosen. He's not tying them together anymore.
Like, that he would have the sugar thing.
Yeah, like, something like that.
To where...
So all his organs would then immediately fall apart after he got knocked the hell out by Luffy. Because he got knocked the hell out. That's how he got arrested. Because, yeah, he got arrested. And it's like, you'd think that his organs would immediately turn to mush. He should be dead. Why are you not dead? It's just really weird, man.
See, and so unless they're implying some kind of permanicity with his strings, like Luffy with his fruit.
Though, then again, this is also the same man I heard literally goes across the ocean by tying his string to clouds and swinging from cloud to cloud. Which, like, they're not even physical objects. So that really annoys the hell out of me.
Yes. Now, I feel a lot more better about my gotcha fruit with the stuff I'm doing with it when I have a guy literally swinging on clouds by string.
Hell, you remember that time? I know. You remember that time that A.K.A just, like, drove a bicycle across a trail of ice on the ocean he made himself?
Yeah.
You gotta think, that couldn't have just been a thin layer of ice, otherwise the waves would have just tossed it and turned it, and a bicycle's weight would have just made it go down into the water. Meaning he had to freeze a deep thing of ice, probably all the way to the floor so it'd be stable. Otherwise the ocean currents would have made it flip over. Meaning that he froze that all the way down to the ocean floor.
Possibly.
Probably.
Yeah. I'm just imagining an iceberg situation. Oh, shoot, this room.
Oh, they're just all 4 yellows.
Yeah, so when I went into this room, I did it in what was probably the funniest way possible. Don't go into a battle.
No, I'm
go
leaving.
into the center.
Oh, it wasn't that door,
Well,
huh?
don't...
Ah, shit. I'm sorry. I tried to thread the needle, I just failed.
Okay. Well, you'll be going through it in the correct order then. Because what these battles are is just they're all the battles you fought previously. It's just they're all back to back to back in one room. But the thing is that because of the way I fought it, I went in like what was like the bottom right hand corner one, the one closest to the switch, which was like arguably the toughest version of the fights.
Oh.
And then I went counterclockwise, which basically went from progressively weaker to weaker fights.
Huh.
So if you just go clockwise from where you are to like the next of the fights, you'll actually probably get the progressively stronger variants of that order.
I see.
Right. Ah, jeez, I gotta remember that one. A man flew through the sky by stringing clouds together. Your argument is invalid.
Oh. I hate it so much.
Yes, I finally have my string man argument.
There's also the thing I don't like about it, Chopper of all things.
Oh, I wonder if it's the same thing I just thought of, but what's that?
So, Chopper ate the human fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Most of his things involve eating a rumble ball and turning into a variety of crazy forms, most of which have nothing to do with being human. Like, Horn Point has nothing to do with being human. His leg point, I swear, is just about him using his powerful, like, deer legs to dash around. It's nuts. Has nothing to do with being human.
Well, okay, that I can easily explain away. So, Chopper ate the human fruit, and it basically allowed him to turn into a human. So it's, and it's a Zoan fruit. So, like, the thing about Zoans is that they're transformative in nature. Able to take one thing and transform it to be a completely different thing. For the most part. Like, we haven't seen a completely humanized Chopper, have we?
No, not completely.
Like, which he should be able to do, considering that, like, any other Zoan can be a completely transformative animal of, like, whatever they are.
Yeah! Like, straight up, right?
Uh-huh.
Wait, when is it? Who's done that exactly?
Offhand, the dinosaur dude. Like, I remember there was this one dude who, like, ate a T-Rex fruit, and I've seen him completely transform into a T-Rex.
You know what? You're 100% right. Chopper should be able to turn into a 100% human. When's it gonna happen, Oda? I want to see it and be scarred for life.
Yeah. So, but anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that by the Zoan's fruit nature, it just transforms one thing into another. There's got to be a lot of mystical stuff going on there because it violates all kinds of laws of physics in order to take one thing and convert its mass into non-existent mass to create another physical body. So, what Chopper did was that he somehow discovered the frequency of his devil fruit, which he uses his rumble balls to mess with.
I know.
And, like, he's literally, like, getting the process that transforms him and wiggling it to get other weird stuff to happen that's, like, it's not supposed to. Because, the fact that it allows him to transform is weird enough as its own. And so, like, him messing with that process is what has him get, like, all of his weird stuff to begin with. Like, it doesn't make sense because his whole fruit doesn't make sense. Like, how do you take a deer and give that the ability to transform into a human with, like, the mass and, like, physics and physique and all the characteristics of a human? There's some weird stuff going on there. So you start messing with that process directly itself.
Right.
It makes sense that you get some, like, weird, crazy stuff that are the various points that he has.
Right, and that's fair. It's just, it's kind of weird that the writer character's like, this is their power, to be human. And it's like, and what do they use most of the time? Weird other stuff.
That's because they mess with the fruit.
Exactly. Why that? Not, like, other human things.
Well, if I had to guess, it was just to show off how
my
smart
God.
the person is.
You bastard. You bastard!
Yeah, if I had to guess, it's to, like, show off... Oh, can you, hold on a moment.
Okay.
Can you hand me that plug over there?
Okay.
Thank you. Keep that power from dying. So, like, I feel like that one of the things they wanted to show off was like, oh, look, check out this cute little not raccoon thing. Look how smart it is with, like, all the stuff it was able to do. Because that probably also goes into the one thing about One Piece, is that no matter how dumb a power may be, it's only limited by your imagination of what you're able to do with it.
Right.
Yeah. So that also like shows off Chopper's ingenuity and imagination of what he was able to do with his fruit, and like the processes that he messed with. Like, I'm sure someone like a Vegapunk would love to see the notes on that stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
Of like how someone was able to mess with their devil fruit to the point to where its transformative properties had this effect for a given situation or thing. But let's see, what was I saying? Okay, so yeah, you bring that up about Chopper, how it's weird that it does that, but there's also something that like I've seen that's been brought up as to why does it do that? And that is that well, Chopper has been knocked underwater a couple of times in the series.
Oh yeah, he has.
So, you know, the rules of the Devil Fruit states that he should turn back into a deer because his power would be nullified. However, whenever he's knocked into water, he's usually in some other transformed state, one of his more in-betweens. But being knocked underwater just transforms him into his small, cute form that like we've seen him with since the beginning.
Didn't that flashback show that's what he looked like originally anyway?
When he first ate the fruit?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's his look after he ate the devil fruit.
Like, now what I'm saying is like that he already looked like that before the devil fruit.
No.
Oh, he looked like a normal deer?
Yeah.
Just the blue nose, if I remember correctly. And then he was made fun of by the other deer for it.
Huh, don't remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remembered that like he looked like a normal deer, then he ate the human fruit, then he got like the cute chibi human form of his. And since then, in the series, whenever he's been thrown underwater to nullify his fruit, he's always reverted to that form, and not his, should-be default deer form.
Yeah. Well, it could be like a paramecia thing. Like how Luffy stays made of rubber, but he can't move.
Well, okay, but the thing is, then wouldn't it make sense that he would stay whatever form he was currently in and just not move? As opposed to just, like, reverting to his, like, chibi human form?
That's true.
So, you know, that's some logic being called into question there. So I thought that was...
Okay.
That's interesting as far as noting as double.
So which one's the hardest one?
The bottom right-hand corner.
Taking him on.
Okay. Well, make sure everyone's, like, all filled up and stuff.
Make sure everyone's in the correct places.
So then, like, now you're done with your Don Flamingo thing and, like, his wacky adventures?
Pretty much. Yeah. You got your thing you want to talk about, too. Huh. Perfect Xenon G! There's the G! G. Sorry, it's a Don Flamingo family thing.
Huh.
There's a guy who's all about G. He loves the G.
Ah. Okay.
That's just... He'll say something with a G in it, and he'll be like, you sure are arrogant! There's the G! I have him on Treasure Cruise. I don't know why, and I hate it. He's 71 years old. He died in the middle of a battle, naturally.
That doesn't make sense.
Why?
I thought you told me that the natural lifespan of humans in One Piece was like 150.
It can be. Apparently, you can... Well, the natural lifespan of humans now is 120, but how many people make it to it? Not many. So, I mean, there's that. Though, yeah, he was in the fight with another old man, and at some point during it, there's all this comical crap going on, and then, like, he just, like, someone just turns to him and says something, and half the fight was just him being like, what'd you say? And it's like, one's like, you idiot, can't you hear me? Like, oh god, he called him an idiot, how's he gonna react to that? Nothing for a while, and you just see, like, his soul leaving his body or something. Like, you know, oh god, he died of natural causes! No, you can't die now! And then, like, something happens, and like he just comes back all of a sudden because he thought he heard someone say something, and he came back and was like, I'm sorry, wait, I'm sorry, what did you just say there? It's like, he came back because he didn't hear what someone said to him? It was a hilarious battle. It was a funny battle.
It was a One Piece battle.
It was. It was the best of battles. It was the worst of battles. Okay, let's do this.
Alright. So, guess I could just give me a chance to talk about my thing.
Indeed.
Alright.
Oh, no.
So, in the process of looking up One Piece stuff, and like, usually whenever I think One Piece, I always think, what's the big thing about One Piece? Devil fruits.
Yes.
You know, that's like the signature thing about the series. Because, like, you know, what does one think of whenever they think of Dragon Ball? Power levels. You know, how much ki can they get and stuff like that.
Really? I thought it'd be...
Yeah, which is related to their power levels and stuff. It's like, you know, what does one think of when they think of Bleach? You know, Zanpakuto toes. Like, you know, what does your sword transform into and stuff like that?
I don't know what I think of when I think of Bleach.
Yeah. It's like, what does one think of when they think of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? You know? It must be the work of a stand user. Right. So, now, keeping that in mind, like, I was thinking, but wait a second. I've seen some other stuff in One Piece that, like, makes me reconsider the whole devil fruit thing. Because, like, isn't it kind of a bit funny how, like, a series that's, like, set on the open seas is, like, you know, one of the biggest powerful things, like, gives you the greatest weakness to the setting of the series?
That's supposed to be the trade-off.
Right. And yet the series has gone to a point to where, like, there are some things out there to where if I had the option to possess that, I would totally forego, like, a devil fruit in its place.
Uh-huh. Can't imagine what that would be.
I'll get into that. Not now, because I feel like it requires a bit more time to explain, but I will get into some other side stuff.
Okay.
Like, for example, like, devil fruit users are like these big, powerful baddies or something like that, and yet if you have some sea stone on you, you can actually negate that kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, so like this literal material that you could touch to a devil fruit user and you nullify their powers. And I looked into it, like, you can actually control the amount of nullification that a person is affected by.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So the way it works is that sea stone apparently gives off this kind of radiation, and depending on its density of it has, that controls the amount of radiation it gives, like, it transfers whenever it touches a person's skin.
Oh.
And that more or less nullifies a devil fruit user's power and can immobilize them. However, you can make sea stone to have such a density to where it's enough to nullify the powers, but it allows the person affected to still perfectly be able to move around on their own strength. Because, you know, who wants to drag around a limp body everywhere?
It's not easy.
Well, I think it would be easy for certain people. Like, the best example that I can give here is that time when Robin was being held prisoner by Cypherpole 9. Remember how they were keeping her powers under lock and key?
No, I mean, yeah, it's just not easy to drag a body around all the time. It's annoying.
Right. Like, you know, Cypherpole, I believe, could drag Robin's body around everywhere if they felt so inclined.
Right.
But, like, thing is, they were able to keep Robin's powers in check by using these sea stone handcuffs, which were made with such a density to where they nullified her powers, but they didn't disable her ability for movement and stuff like that.
Right.
Which, you know, lets me know that, okay, so that means that if I wanted to, and somehow got a hold of the material to, I could make bracelets that could nullify the devil fruit powers of other characters.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And if I applied enough bracelets, I could totally immobilize them if I wanted to.
I'd call them anti-friendship bracelets. You will not like me when we are through.
Ah. Yeah. But then, like, I thought about it from another direction. Okay, this would actually be pretty good to just have on, like, in a bag to hand out to crewmates. Supposedly put together the legendary crew, and you have devil fruit users amongst them and stuff like that. Like, I was just thinking, like, what if they're fighting against other devil fruit users? Well, if they could somehow manage it, they could probably get those bracelets onto the enemy devil fruit users to nullify their powers while still keeping them perfectly safe.
Huh.
And I figured, well, how would one pull that off? You're only affected by sea stone when it comes into, like, direct contact with the skin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Yeah.
And even then, its amount of density controls by how much it nullifies you by. So that means if someone could just, like, get the bracelet or whatever and, like, clamp it around, like, a person's arm or something like that, then it would be enough to nullify their power while still allowing for movement. And, like, if you just, like, allow for, like, more of that stuff to be placed on them, then you'd completely nullify their movement. It would all just be controlled by the density of the sea stone that would be in the bracelet. And, like, that's the only concern that would, like, have to be accounted for. Plus, like, it also gave me an idea of, like, a really cool scenario that, like, I could see that being done in One Piece, like, being played up for how cool someone is. Mm-hmm. Like, imagine that someone went around with a sea stone bracelet, like, on their wrist. And what this does is, like, I would imagine that it helps nullify the devil fruit powers of other people from working on this person. Like, let's say this person was going up against, like, A.K.A, the ice user dude. Like, I would like to imagine a scenario that if A.K.A went up and tried to freeze the person like he did to Robin, that it just wouldn't work. What, something wrong with that?
No, I had an itch on my eyebrow. Also, that's silly.
What? That his freezing powers wouldn't work because of the bracelet?
Right.
Yeah. But I would like to think that something like that would... Can you escape out of that room?
I don't need to fight you!
Just out of curiosity, like, oh, okay, I won't let you escape. They thought about it. Well, bring up the menu, because we don't have enough time for a nut about it, but I at least want to finish my thoughts. Like, I would imagine a One Piece situation. Like, if someone had a devil fruit that affected others.
I just did full repair all. Why are you still hurt?
That's weird. I would just throw an item on him in that case.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, like, I would just imagine a scenario, like, someone's fighting someone like A.K.A. A.K.A tries to freeze them, but they're immune because they have the freezing bracelet. That doesn't mean that A.K.A couldn't, like, create, like, an ice spike and then just throw it at them to, like, get them that way. It's just as far as, like, being directly affected by devil fruit powers, like, the bracelet would allow for some immunity to that. And then, like, what's that called? Like, the big badass moment or something like that. The person would be all like, I see, I must unleash my true power, and they just rip off the sea stone bracelet to reveal that they're a devil fruit user themselves.
Behold the power of my stendo.
Yeah, and like they would be able to use their own devil fruit, like figure, like, I see the bracelet as like working like a double-edged sword for devil fruit users. Like if they were to wear one, so where it would nullify their power, but at least it would nullify the power of others. And if they ever wanted to go full power, they would just like rip the thing off and like then
like
go at it.
Kenpachi's eye patch.
Maybe. It's just like, Kenpachi suppressed his overall power. This one would be like a suppression of an ability or something like that.
Behold my ultimate power! No power has ever overcome it! And it just turns out you're just trying to psych them out. Your power sucks.
Maybe. But doesn't that seem like a One Piece thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, it seems more like a Bleach thing. As I mentioned with the Kenpachi thing. Limiters and things like that, yeah, I haven't seen that in One Piece.
Huh. Really? Why don't you say that Luffy pretty much exemplified that?
When?
Every time he goes up a gear.
No, those are transformation states. They're not like locks on his already existing power.
Oh, so they're more related to like DBZ Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2 and all that kind of stuff?
I'd say that. Yours are more like, let me remove limiter, zero or whatever. Go for a moonlit walk.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So yeah, I got more to say, but that's gonna have to be saved for the next episode.
See y'all later.